Hey y'all, how you doing? I was just in the middle of playing a little bit of Need for Speed Shift. And Need for Speed has always been one of my favorite racing series, but what got me started on this train of thought is, in this day and age of almost constant remakes and remasters, some of them good, some of them bad, some of them eh, why don't we see a remake? Or I wouldn't so much say a remaster, because it's been, God, how many years since this game came out? But a remake of Need for Speed Underground 2. Now keep in mind, Need for Speed really built its credit, shall we say, as a street racing franchise through Need for Speed Underground and its subsequent sequel Underground 2, which was, for the most part, actually, I'll say, hands down, the better of the two games. Now, what made Underground 2 so great? Well, there was the free roaming city where you can actually drive to your next event, for one. There was the soundtrack, which featured Snoop Dogg. And I'm not a big rap fan, but I loved his Riders on the Storm with the Doors. So much so that it's currently on my playlist on my phone as we speak. Also, the number of events, the number of classes of cars you could race, the number of different racing styles, and you had the Underground Racing League. Now, the Underground Racing League in Underground 2 was a lot like the NASCAR of street racing. Only thing is, you had to get invited to the URL races. Now, that being said, how did you get invited to the URL races? You had to win a certain number of other races. You had to gain a certain number of points, a certain amount of prestige in the racing circuit. Now, as I said, this game could definitely use a remake or a remaster, if you should want to put it that way. And truth be told, I think it's about time. Now, the last game in the Need for Speed series I played before Shift was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And Criterion Games, they did a terrific job with Hot Pursuit. I'm not taking anything away from them. Criterion also did the Burnout series, and as I said, they're an excellent studio. So I'm not going to suggest a studio that can run this, that can do this. Except to say that I think the studio behind Shift would actually be better for a remake of Underground 2. But one thing I will say is this: if you're going to remake Underground 2, you've got to keep the visual upgrades to the cars in the game as they were in the original Underground 2. But that's just one part of this, and another part is the cars. Now, this is where I certainly have a question for Criterion Games. as it pertains to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, where you could play as either the cops or the racers. And that question is this. Can you think of any major American police operation that utilizes the Lamborghini Murcielago? I certainly can't. Just one of those cars would eat up a substantial portion of any major American police operations budget. That's just one car. So, I'm thinking we need to look at how Need for Speed has evolved as a series. We need to look at the cars that were used in Hot Pursuit, which a lot of them are exotics. I'm just saying. But some of the cars did not make sense for the situation. They didn't, especially for the cops, because I can't see any police department spending that kind of money on just one car. But instead, I'd like us to take a look at some other cars. Some muscle, some tuner, that I believe would be perfect for a remake of Need for Speed Underground 2. Let's give it a look, shall we? One of the things we're going to talk about right now as far as the Need for Speed series goes is the selection of cars. Again, I'm going to say it, the number of exotics that I found in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, to me, in the aspect of a police department using them, it didn't quite make sense. So, for street racing, where you won't find many exotics at all, truth be told, because these are people that are buying these cars and modding them out themselves. We're going to stick with, and I've picked out 3 in each series, muscle cars and tuners. Muscle cars I define as the classic American V8. So, what have I got selected in muscle cars? These 3 right here. And I'm going to start with the Chevrolet Camaro Super Sport. That's right, the Camaro. Not only is it a semi-affordable muscle car, but it's also got one of the fastest speeds in the current muscle car genre. But then again, a lot of them, no, not to say a lot, because I only picked up 3. Most of them have got a kind of scaled down price range, given the day and age. And, well, on to the next one, and my personal favorite, shall we say, the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Now, after what Dodge did with the Charger, turning it into a 4-door sedan, I am glad they brought back the Challenger. This is what Mopar muscle is all about. And then you have this, the granddaddy of them all, the Ford Mustang GT 500, the Shelby model Mustang. Folks, this Shelby Cobra Mustang is the, well, not the current year model, keep in mind, but back in history, this is the same model of Ford Mustang that raced against the Ferrari. If you ever watched that movie, Ford versus Ferrari, that's the Ford they're talking about. The Carroll Shelby model Mustang. So, yeah, these three tuner cars are perfect for a remake of Need for Speed Underground 2. And now we're going to go to the tuners. Here we go. You can tell I'm doing this unscripted. The Mitsubishi Lancer Edition R. This is the current model of the classic Mitsubishi Lancer Evo series. This was one of the best drift cars ever made, as well as probably best for rally, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken on that, so don't quote me on it. But for drift track and short track, this car in Underground 2 was king. Next up we have the 2021 Mitsubishi WRX. No, it's a Subaru WRX. So, as I said, you can tell I'm doing this unscripted. Look at the lines on that car. This would be perfect for a street racing title. And then there's this. The Toyota Supra Qr, the latest model of the Supra. If you recall correctly, Paul Walker's car in the original Fast and Furious was what? It was a Supra. So, not only would it be an excellent tribute to Paul Walker, but it would also, this car here, would also be perfect for another Need for Speed Underground title, whether it be a remake or just an outright sequel. I don't care which, but still, we're talking about a remake here, so yeah. This new model Supra, again, perfect for the cut. Oh. I think I'm going to call it a video here, folks. I think I pretty much made my point. So as always, I like to say, keep on being awesome. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you when I see you.